So what really happened when a king or a queen or someone of a very high position with titles in a country or in a land happen? So I'm just going to share this what I know about what happened when a king dies based on personal experience and what happened people that I know and even someone from my family died some years ago and I mean not just there's nothing secret about it when my own biological father died some years ago who died as the oldest man in our town, in our village, in our locality, so to say, and one of the highest member of the Royal Majesty, the Oguru Merume one of Okpara the First. Uh, so there are a lot of things that tradition holds that are very, very vital, no matter the level of civilization, no matter the time and the era that a king or a queen or someone of a high title dies in a society or in any community or whatsoever. So I'm doing this video in regards to the news about the health and the death, this alleged death of the Queen Elizabeth II of England. That since today is Wednesday, so it's been a day about now that the news is out about the Queen, and I actually tried to look for it everywhere online, but there's no news until I found the one that I put out. And some people are saying that it's still a rumor and it's a celebrity gossip and stuff like that. I have no doubt. I'm not denying anything that anyone is saying, but what I just want to say is that this is what I know when someone of a high significance with a history of beautiful tradition, when somebody like this die. Let me just bring it in the aspect of her Oba of Benin in years ago, and the king, the Olu of Wari, the king in the Guru Merume one of Okpara Island, and so many kings and queens that have died in the past. So when a king dies, immediately when a king dies, I will take an insight from the ones that I know from my place. So when the king dies, immediately the king dies, the king must be buried. A king does not stay in any mortuary or whatsoever. Yes, I mean that when I said there is no king or queen that his body or her body will be allowed to be in a mortuary. I'm saying this in the with a look from the African perspective, all right? And I know that this is most likely for all the kings because they all have the same customs all across the world. Yes, I think I'm right on that too, but I could be wrong. So when a king or a queen dies, immediately the news comes. The family will reach out to all the members of the palace, all the members of the royalty. They will gather, which is the immediate family. Then the immediate family have to disclose the news to the members of the king's or the queen's palace, people who are members of his monarchy and all that. The highest or the next in line to be queen or something, all of them will have to be notified, and they have to immediately run to the scene or the hospital or wherever these things happen. These people must come, because whether you are a family or not, you do not have any permission to bury a queen or a king on your own, no matter what happened. They must come to examine, because they have to give a feedback to those who are part of the monarchy or the rest of them, or all of this is very, very necessary. And at the end of all these people being present, there has to be a decision. And at this point, even members of the family are not allowed to cry out loud. You will be chased away, or they will ask you to close your mouth, or they will even try and abuse on you when something like this happens. In most cases, I think in the case of my father, when my dad died, They chased away my some of my elder sisters and the brothers who couldn't close their mind. As a kid, I understood what was happening. I was right there in the hospital when he first died. In fact, before a lot of people got to know about it in the family, I was right there beside him in the hospital. I was the one who closed both eyes and stuff like that. So when a king dies, at the end of the day, at the end, a king or a queen dies, at the end of the night of the day, there will be an immediate arrangement to make sure that they bury the king, because a king is never be taken to any hospital or any hospital mortuary or whatsoever, and there is no balm. It used to be that when a king dies in some part of the Africa or Nigeria, they will give him a traditional balm to keep the king there for some certain days, but the traditional changed that that king must be buried. So my dad was buried right on that same night. This is something that has to be supposed to be a family secret, but it's not really a big deal because all right, so the king must be buried that night. But after all traditions and rites have been met, they will make the information known to the public after 7 days. After 7 days of the actual death of a king, before they can make take the what they call take time to do all the traditional things they need to do and all the rites and stuff like that. They have to do all of these processes, and after all this is done, according to them, they have to appease the gods and consult the oracles and stuff like that. And in case of Queen Elizabeth, some other things are going to be done. All the kings in different parts of the world, all the royal palaces all across the world, they are going to be notified, because someone like Queen Elizabeth is not just a queen, it's a queen with a high significance value in our world today, not just only in England. And all the rest are going to be notified, and they have their own way of paying homage, and they have their own way of doing things in paying respect to her and all that. And until these kings are done with whatever traditions that kings normally do when a kings die or a queens die, the members of the public are never allowed to know anything about the death. Any rumor, any news outside will be debunked as a rumor, and sometimes there are some actions that can follow it. All right, so these are the things, and when the king must be the king or the queen, the moment the same day the king or queen dies, must be buried. And after being buried, they and all that needs to be done get done. Then they comes to the members of the public to say that the king, the queen, this, that, this is what happened, and so far the body has been deposited in the mortuary. Even on the day of the funeral, in most cases, the casket you see is just an empty thing to make the public believe that the body, the corpse that was deposited in the mortuary has been taken out, and there will be a parade all around the essential part of the cities or the countries or the town, as the case may be, and there will be at least 2 weeks of funeral going on, and all of these signs of royalties, representative and powers and every kind of traditions have to come and pay homage and all of this. So this is why I feel like it's most likely that the queen is actually gone, and it's still most likely that maybe she perhaps collapsed or something like this happened, or the first set of people who met her didn't meet her in the right way. And there are people are finding out different way of getting information, and then the news just filter out, and the strong publishers across the world have this news already, okay? And I think that like politicals and other part of newspapers company in America decided to take their news down. I think after about an hour, but there are some that are still holding on to the news, holding on to the claims that the queen is no more. So this is just what I have to say. I may share with us right now about the rumor going on. So if there is anything else somebody has to share with us or something like that, feel free to share. But this is just what I know about royalty. When a royal person dies in every community, city, state, or country, it is not publicly made known. Sometimes it will take up to 2-3 weeks. Sometimes it can even be more than that. So it depends on it. So my name is Harry. Thank you. I hope I share some little vital information about royalty. And feel free to correct me or add your own in the comment section below. Talk and live, no time to tell time. Alaska Spice TV. Cheers.